Hey everybody, my name is John Lynch and I am doing 365 days of alternate day fasting. We are on day 63 now, so we've just finished month 2 and time is really flying. This is going really well for me. This has actually been much easier than I expected it to be. I am never hungry on my fasting days, and I actually have never been hungry on my fasting days through this entire process, which has made it much easier for me. What I'm really excited about is that this seems like it's really sustainable. This seems like it's something that I can complete, and it doesn't feel like a burden at all. It's kind of much easier than I thought it was going to be. The greatest thing is that this doesn't feel like a diet in any way. It seems just really normal to me now. If I had been doing like an Atkins diet or something like that, by the time I got to maybe the end of month 1, certainly by the time I got to the end of month 2, I would have that kind of like antsy feeling, that kind of desperation for like, oh, I've really got to get some carbs in me. I have to try something, you know. It's this thing that slowly builds up over time. But I have nothing like that. This just feels like if I just started this yesterday, it would feel like that, except for I feel so much better than I did when I started this. So we just finished month 2, and month 2 has been really different from month 1. In month 1, on my fasting days, I was doing water fast, so just water, and I was really tired all the time. I would have naps in the afternoon. Even when I was up, I had no get up and go, I just couldn't get anything done. So I had a day where I could kind of do stuff when I was eating, and then I had a day where I was just like a blob. Also through that period, I had no excitement for life. I was just really apathetic towards everything. So didn't love that. But when month 2 started, I thought, I cannot continue like this. And the big change I made, which doesn't seem like much, but has made all the difference, is that I just added coffee on my fasting days. That's it. It's not much, but it has made a world of difference. All of a sudden, I have energy. I have so much more energy. I am enthusiastic about life. I dream, I make plans, and I do things. Like I follow through on my plans. I'm getting lots of things done. I'm sleeping significantly fewer hours per night. So that's a real difference. Like this week alone, I had 2 nights where I got to bed really late. You know, I didn't get to bed till 4 o'clock. I was working on stuff. And then I have to get up at 8 o'clock to get my son off to school. And usually if that happened to me, I would have to go home and go back to bed afterwards. And both of these days, I just thought, I'd rather get going. And I did, and I was fine. It was amazing. So not that I want to continue not sleeping, 4 hours a night. That's not sustainable. But the fact that I could do it and that it felt great is a whole new world for me. Something I started this month, partway through the month, because I wasn't getting a lot of weight loss, I decided that I would start narrowing my eating window on my eating days. So pretty simply, I just would not have breakfast, and then I would have only coffee or something until about noon. Now, I did this because it seemed like a really easy thing to do. It didn't seem like a burden. It was just like, I wasn't kind of hungry anyway when I got up. So I thought, why don't I just see how that goes? And yeah, it's worked. I've started picking up weight loss a little bit more. And also I feel like I have a less need for sugar and sweet things. I still have them, but I don't have as much. So it's not like an out of control thing where I have like a bunch of sugar all the time. I'll have like a sweet drink and stuff, but I won't think, I've got to have another one and another one, which was kind of the way I was running before this. This month, I've definitely become a lot less food focused, which is great. In the first month, when I was on a fasting day, I would be dreaming and planning for what I would have the next day. And that was kind of a motivation to continue through the fasting day, because I'd be like, well, tomorrow I can have this and this and this. And that worked for me. It got me through it, and that was fine. Through month 2, that's just, the urge to do that has lessened and lessened. My interest in food has lessened. So I would have days where I'd be walking through the supermarket and I'd be like, do I want this? Nah. Do I want this? I don't care that much, which is never been the way I have been. So that's new and great, really. Also, along with that, I have an increased portion control, which is not anything I've ever had in my life. I was always the type of person that when I was kind of planning out what I'd cook and how much I would do it, I would always cook extra. I'd always want more. And then of course you eat more, and sometimes a lot more. It would kind of give me anxiety to think that I might not have enough. And so that was what I was doing. Starting this month, I've had an ability to have some portion control. My mental state has allowed me to be cooking the amount that I would need, and maybe even a little less than I would usually think that I would need. I just say to myself, hey, I could always cook more later if I want to, but I don't end up doing that. So that has been really interesting as well. Now, when I started this, I did take pictures. So before I started, I took pictures. At the end of month 1, I also took pictures and I compared them, and I didn't really see much of a difference, even though I'd lost about 13 pounds. Visually, it looked exactly the same to me. I have a lot of weight to lose. After month 2, I've also taken pictures, and initially I thought, oh gosh, there's still no difference. But then with a little looking, I thought, you know what, there is a difference. Not a huge amount, and I have a long, long way to go, but I still find it interesting, and so I will put the pictures up so that you can see it and realize I have a long way to go, but might as well take a look. Now, my weight loss did slow down in month 2. In month 1, I lost about 13 pounds. In month 2, I lost about 8-ish pounds. Kind of, it worked out overall about 22 pounds. I've also lost some inches around my stomach. I've had to put an extra hole in my belt to tighten it up a bit more, which is always a great feeling. Now, obviously, I really do want to drop the weight. That's my overall goal. But I have to keep reminding myself while this is going on that it's a longer term project, but also my life has improved so much since I started doing this. It's really, really significant. Before I started this, I was just tired all the time. I was pretty despondent. I'd given up on any possibility of ever really significantly losing weight and having it stay off. I was uncomfortable in my body. If I went to tie my shoes, the pressure of the fat pushing into my chest would make me so that I couldn't breathe, and so I'd be breathing hard at the end of getting up just to tie your shoes, which is pretty sad, really. Every time I would start an exercise program, I would kind of be enthusiastic, but I would get injured. And it wouldn't be an injury that like 3 days later I'd be fine again. It would be like 3 months later and I'd still have this nagging injury. I don't know what it is, if it was just pushing so much weight around or just getting older, or I don't even know what, but it made it so that the route for me was not ever going to be just exercise and lose weight. Now, having just finished the second month of alternate day fasting, things are really, really different. I feel good in my body. You know I still have a long way to go, but I actually can already feel the difference. I can't imagine how much different I'll feel if I lose another 70 pounds. I'm enthusiastic towards life. I'm making little projects and I'm following through and taking action towards them. I'm significantly less food focused. I really believe I can continue on with this without much difficulty. And for the first time in a long, long, long time, I think that it might actually be possible that I can reach my goal weight. I didn't know if I'd ever be able to do it in my adult life. Now, it's not done yet, but I'm really hopeful and kind of pretty confident that this is possible for me. Now, I want to make it clear that I am not doing this in the most efficient way to lose weight. It's definitely possible to be much more efficient, and I could be losing weight a lot faster. If I was going to do this in the most efficient way possible, I would do the alternate day fasting. I would also have a strict low carb diet, and I probably would be exercising an hour a day, even if it was just walking or slowly on the treadmill or something like that. And that would drop the pounds a lot faster. Now, the reason I'm not doing that is my goal isn't a quick drop of weight. My goal is to sustain this through a year and be able to continue with it and get my weight down to a great weight and then be able to keep it long term. So I want it to be something that doesn't feel like a burden, that feels easy to continue with so that I don't feel that need to stop or give up. Really, I wish I'd known about fasting and the benefits of it my entire life. If that was the case, I never would have done diets. I never would have done that route. I would have immediately gone to doing fasting, and I wouldn't have had that up and down, a dropping weight and gaining it back again. And I also think that I would have been able to keep a stable, good weight my entire life if I had this in my toolbox. Hey, better late than never. I think that it really is possible. I'll hit that goal weight and then I'll be able to sustain it for a long, long, long time and always have this in my toolbox. So I'm really happy that it's come finally as knowledge for me. So if you have felt any of this, especially if you've given up on gaining some control over your weight, I would suggest that you seriously consider alternate day fasting. It's, to me, a miracle. If you are interested, first, I would suggest read Dr. Jason Fung's book. I'll put the link in the description. There's a ton of knowledge in it. He really knows what he's talking about, lots of science. And it's great to know what's going on in your body while this is happening. That's also very motivating. Please do continue to follow along on my journey. It's great to have you along. If you find anything useful in this video or even entertaining, then give it a like. This has been surprisingly easy for me to do, and I would really love for more people to know about it. Also, I would love for you to comment and let me know your story, if you have tried fasting or just even say hello. Well, thanks for watching.